Hello and welcome back. Today we are playing Super Worldbox and we're trying to make things a little bit bigger this time. I'm going back to the gigantic maps that I couldn't make last time. Or at least I couldn't make them work. Everyone kept dying. Yeah, this time we're gonna see if I can be less stupid and make it work. A huge shout out to Sean Noblecki for coming up with this suggestion and also pointing out that I have not been providing stone to my people. So I was creating mountains and hills, but there's an actual stone resource, which you go into the resources. Here it is, right here. I somehow missed it. Other changes I made. Other changes include making monsters peaceful. No one needs food. Old age is turned off and rebellions are turned off. That way we can just have 100% pure combat. So without further ado, let's get it rolling. Okay, I've put down 10 of each race, and Middle Earth, have a world with villages for each race. I can't believe that's the first time I've actually done that. I have played around with this quite a bit off screen. Let's turn on the civilization viewer. I am going to be continuously doing things, giving them resources, and trying to keep them alive, and I will check in as interesting things develop. It's going to be a lot of time skips because this is a colossal map. So it is going to take a very long time. Okay, it's been a few years, and this has definitely proved something to me. Humans and elves grow very, very quickly given forest, given food. Orcs don't grow very quickly, and dwarves don't grow very quickly. That said, I still expect the dwarves will win this overall because this is a massive map, and the dwarves eventually get adamantium or adamantine, one of the two. Once they have adamantine, I think the dwarves will pretty handily wreck all the other races. That said, let's continue the time skip. Okay, it's been about 40 or so years. I haven't been paying too much attention to how much time has been passing, but everyone is at peace now. I didn't do any of this. I just let diplomacy occur as it may. The orcs and elves are no longer fighting, but they are both significantly behind the humans, who I think the orcs and elves fighting have slowed them down a lot, which is not great for them. But it is interesting to see that they were both very quickly outgrowing the fighting they were doing. And so they were suffering like a decent amount of casualties, but their societies were growing so fast, it didn't really matter because they were just popping out new orcs and elves faster than they could kill them. I have continued to throw down additional resources for the various societies, trying to keep it even. And I'm probably just going to spam resources as they grow. So just letting you know what's going on in the background, and we are going to continue pushing forward. Okay, I was speeding up time, rushing around, and then I noticed some movement. It appears the orcs have already picked fights, and they are crossing. Look how long it is taking them, literally a year to cross the land, and they are still going off and picking fights with other and doing really well, by the way. The orcs are they're doing damage with their raids. Over a year just to reach the other nation, and they're still going out and sending raids to attack the elves. Probably do another round of this where I make everyone at peace for a long time. But for now, I'm just going to let this play out and see what happens. Seems like this orc raid has been vanquished. Oh no, they're still going. They are doing a lot of damage to the elves. Interesting. All right, we shall push forward. Okay, it's been another 50 or so years. The world population is up to 3,000. I'm wondering, I'm letting this go primarily with normal diplomacy. I'll probably do one after this where like I force them all to be at war the entire time. They're encroaching on each other's land. Oh, and it looks like the humans have actually just declared war on the elves. So let's actually slow things down because they are sending a big freaking... Oh my gosh, this is a proper army. I went through and looked at some of the humans' various peoples. Most of them have like copper or bronze weapons. Some of them do have iron, which is neat. It looks like the elves are also just... Oh no, those are humans still. Yeah, they seem to be not bothered about swimming across the ocean at all. Wow, yeah, no, the humans are doing complete and utter work right now. The elves need to get it together or they are all about to die. Oh, there's the elven counterattack coming in strong. The elves are fighting back, but they are not fighting back very hard, and they are, in fact, getting torn to pieces. Okay, this might be the end of the human assault. Maybe, question mark. I don't know, it's not looking super fantastic. I'm going to speed things up a bit. Okay, so we have our first real battle of this giant endless war. And they're they're just trickling in waves now. Although I think now that the elves actually have an army together properly, they'll do a bit better. That said, having their army grouped up the way they do, they kill things very efficiently, but they can only be at one place at a time, and humans are coming across the entire length of the river to raid the elves. Like, so for all the people the elves are stopping, there's many people they are not stopping. Oh, but they did just manage to destroy a human village, so that's something. Let's see, let's back up a bit and see how much damage they're actually doing on the large scale. It looks like they're not, like their actual empires aren't taking that much damage. Oh, they have some elven raids going in pretty deep, but oh, the orcs are actually joining in the fighting now too. The humans are fighting on two fronts. They are fighting the orcs and the elves. So this might be it for the humans. I think they bit off more than they can chew. And yeah, the elves and orcs are friends right now. So long and good night, humans. Yeah, no, they have stopped making their raids on the elves and are playing defense 100% right now. And it's not going great for them. The barbarians are bashing down the gates, and the humans... This is basically the Battle of the Black Gates for Lord of the Rings, which I need to rewatch Lord of the Rings. That is a glorious trilogy. The orcs are not sending forward that many people. It looks like just this one raiding party, really. But oh, okay, 2 raiding parties, and this one's pretty big over here. But the humans are not in any position to contest them. And today we watch the final bell toll for humankind. Or, I don't know, maybe they'll declare peace or something. There's still a lot of land to conquer. Because this map is colossal. Like I said, it took a year just for the orcs to reach the elves. So let's speed things up a bit, because we don't have time to watch every play-by-play of this war. We would be here all day. Oh, but the humans are starting to fight back somewhat effectively on this front. They're not doing anything about the orcs on the top right. They are giving them a good count. A good accounting of themselves. They got a proper army over here. They do group up effectively, but their massive army can only be in one place at a time. And that's not going to help when the orcs are destroying their villages. Oh, the dwarves. I did not even see this. The dwarves have declared war on the orcs. I noticed the orcs weren't causing as much trouble anymore, so I was like, what's the deal? Turns out they are getting invaded by the orcs. Or... the orcs are getting invaded by the orcs. The orcs are getting invaded by the dwarves. And the dwarves are effectively clearing out the entire eastern border of the orcs. But they are still friends with the elves. So the elves are pretty easily just taking the humans on right now. There is no competition right now. Look at that. It is just genocide. A greater tragedy mine eyes have never beheld. So many pixelated deaths. Everyone just... a moment of silence, please, for the pixelated human race and their rapidly dropping population numbers with this massive conflict down here. Let's zoom in on that. Oh yeah, they are digging right into the original capital of the humans and just burning it to the ground. I think stone buildings are a lot harder for units to destroy, but there's nothing the humans can do to stop them right now. They just don't have the manpower for it. And if we look at the world population, it actually has gone down from all the fighting, which isn't surprising. Oof. Yeah, no, the humans are not going to recover. Let's see how the dwarves and orcs are getting on. They're still fighting, but it looks like Oh, wow. It looks like the orcs actually turned things around. Yeah, no, the orcs struck a huge blow against the dwarves. The dwarves are... Ooh, wow. I don't think the dwarves are even going to handle a 1 versus 1 with the orcs. Yeah, no. I still think the dwarves probably grow the slowest of any of the races. I don't know if that's because I'm doing something wrong for them or what, but their population has been much lower the entire time than any other race. And yeah, the orcs are taking full advantage of it. Oof. And it seems like we have two of the great clans. Oh, there's just nothing left of the humans anymore. They're down to less than 200 people, whereas the elves have like, what, 600? I don't even know. Right now, I think I can actually look at the kingdom details. Okay, so right now the elves have 1,600 people. The orcs have 1,000. The dwarves have less than 700, and the humans have 230. Unless something changes, it is going to be a very elven world that we are seeing here today. Oof, the humans are still fighting valiantly. They held up for a long time, fighting both the elves and the orcs on two fronts. So that was interesting to see. I thought they were going to collapse like instantly once the orcs got in on it. But no, they stuck it out. The orcs are taking advantage of the land they stole from the humans and the land they stole from the dwarves. I don't think it's going to be enough to stop the Elven Empire, though. The Elven Empire is terrifying, and they have this massive army just obliterating the humans. Okay, the last few moments of the human race's existence. Their capital has... Oh, one person, and their capital has collapsed. Their new little village, which has become the capital by default of still existing. 7, 4, and the human race is dead. The orcs and the dwarves are still fighting, but they seem to have stalemated. The orcs destroyed a line of villages, and it seems like they they did just take out another village. They have not been making very fast progress, but they have been making steady progress against the dwarves. The dwarves are definitely next on the chopping block, unless the elves decide they hate the orcs. And I imagine that's not going to happen. What I think is going to happen is the orcs are going to finish off the dwarves, and then the orcs and elves will leave. Oh, did something just change? The elves just declared war on the dwarves. Okay, the dwarves are completely and utterly screwed now. The elves are bloodthirsty. Goodness gracious. They are in a position of power and they know it. Look at that. Elven Rage just obliterating this coast. That was once a safe haven. It doesn't matter now. The dwarves are going to fall. I was clearly wrong about the build-up. There was not that much time for them to build up before which I say not that much time. It's been 160 years. That's not that long in terms of this game. Because we look at like the people they still have like stone and iron weapons. If you let enough time pass, the dwarves will get adamantine and mithril, and they don't have any adamantine or mithril. So yeah, not enough build-up time, or maybe the dwarves are they just can't hack it against the elven menace. Sad day. Shed a tear for the dwarves. Oh, okay, so the dwarves have actually declared peace with the orcs. I was not expecting that. I don't know why the orcs would back off. Maybe they just have enough room to grow that they don't particularly care about the dwarves anymore. Now the dwarves are only fighting the elves. I say only, but the elves are a terrifying, monstrous machine of death. And they will absolutely obliterate the dwarves given enough time. They got some little skirmishes going on here, but there's just so many elves. They're just running past. Oh my gosh. Look at that. It's just like a swarm of ants. Of very large ants just butchering dwarves left, right, and center. I think this is it. As long as this army doesn't get distracted and like, ooh, there goes the clan citadel. Good night. Ah, the proud dwarven people. They're trying to build kingdoms further away, trying to run away from the elves. It's not going to happen. Oedipal. Goodbye, dear sweet Oedipal. Abor, which was once a metropolis of like 170 people, down to 7. Good night. Bur Enserum, the last beacon of dwarven kind, against a swarm of pointy-eared elfie boys. I think pointy-eared elfie boys are gonna win. Yeah, they are. It's not even close. Goodness gracious. All right. I will miss you, and I will remember you fondly, dwarves. I'll play Dwarf Fortress later, and I was gonna say return dignity to the dwarves, but if you've ever played Dwarf Fortress, dignity isn't really a thing in that game. And now the elves and orcs finally turn on each other. The two who initially fought at the beginning and who were so bloodthirsty they wanted to destroy each other just diverted their attention to the human and dwarves, wiped them out so they could finish their fight. And the orcs are doing work too. Like, goodness gracious. They are taking a lot of land right now. Probably because the elven army was in dwarf lands and they were not in a position to fight back against this. Okay, got an actual battle going on here, but they don't have enough elves together. I'm going to take a second to look at the populations. Okay, so the elves are up to 3,000 people, and the orcs have 1,500. I don't think the orcs are gonna... It doesn't even matter that they're doing so well on their raid right now. Like, they're destroying villages over here, destroying villages over... Oh, it looks like they actually got crushed there. There's just too much. I don't think they're going to be able to make up the difference. Yeah, it looks like they're still trying to push in for some raids, but it's not happening. They're not getting very deep is the biggest thing. Like, there's still this whole freaking hive of activity over here, completely unbothered by the border skirmishes that the orcs are doing. Yeah, I think even as well as the orcs are doing right now, this is still going to end up being an easy elven victory. The elven army finally decides they care. They care about the border provinces, the silly colonials. The elven army is walking straight into a forest fire, which... Oh, okay, apparently it cleared out fast enough that's not an issue. That's fine. And we got a huge battle here. Oh, wow. This is actually going on for a while. Goodness gracious. This is the war. But again, the elves just breed like rabbits. Goodness gracious. There's always just more and more of them. Danzag has been destroyed. Yeah. So what does it say that the orcs destroyed an entire line of elven villages? Doesn't even matter. The elves just kept growing this way and gaining more people, and now they're just gonna obliterate them. Oh, here it comes. The tide. Oh, these guys decided to redirect through a forest fire, but again, there's so many of them, it doesn't matter if some of them burn to death. Okay, we got these southern border colonies getting destroyed. It looks like the orcs are about to be pushed out of human lands. Well, what was originally human lands. But yeah, the elves are just absolutely chewing through the orcs. The population is actually at the highest it's ever been. I imagine that's just more and more elves reproducing, though, because obviously the orcs population probably isn't growing right now. They're kind of being obliterated. That entire swath used to be orc villages. And now they have another raid coming over here, while their army is busy over in the middle. It just doesn't matter. The elves just throw wave after wave of their own people. And the orcs are finally trying to make another push, but the elves have completely rebuilt everything the orcs destroyed and are still sending raids up north. Unless something crazy happens, I think we know how this is going to go. I will be back when the next big wave happens. Okay, here it is, ladies and gents. The elves are sending a massive swarm just straight up the center. The elves are now up to 3,500 people. The orcs are down to 1,400. And oof. Yeah, no, the elves are doing some work. Although they are getting distracted by individuals. The AI is not super fantastic in this game. But it gets the job done eventually. Oof. This is a very powerful concentration of units. This is probably like at least 100 people here, if not more. And look at that, just carnage. Entire swaths of territory are being lost. And they're sending another raid up north that I didn't even notice. The army is busy with a small raid over here, which I imagine a minute ago was probably also quite a large raid. But there is now a huge crater in Orc lands. They have lost a lot of ground. And the elves have just continued to expand outwards. Look at how much of human territory the elves encompass now. They have taken almost half of this entire grid. They've taken about a third of this one. The southern raids have been beaten back, but they just sent out another raid. Goodness gracious. Oh, they're actually making a little push here. They have done some damage, but the orcs made it as far as here, and the elves had them pushed like halfway through their own territory. So it gave them some breathing space, but they need a lot more than breathing space. Although they are doing some work. Oh, they're doing quite a bit of work because they have raids going to the south now too. All right, I'll be back when something significant happens. Okay, we have something pretty significant happening here. The elves have sent another tidal wave straight down the center of orc territory. They have done this kind of damage before, and it hasn't been the death toll for the orcs, but they are looking significantly stronger this time. They have two very large armies that are just chewing through territory. They are meeting some resistance right here, but the orcs are taking a lot of casualties in a lot of important areas. And there's nothing contesting this army down here at all. I don't think this will be the end, but I think this is the beginning of the end. Because, oh, okay, the orcs have put together some more resistance. Maybe they are incredibly resilient. Like, I am amazed that this battle is lasting this long because the elves have them dramatically outnumbered and have had them outnumbered for a long time. Okay, we also see that the orcs have been completely pushed from human lands. They are not going to recover any of this area. Yeah. Okay, so they are officially out of human lands. The human grid belongs entirely to elves. They still have their foothold in dwarven lands, which does not look like it's going to be crippled. Okay, the elves have sent a strong raid into the dwarven grid, and it looks like they might push the orcs out of dwarven lands too, so all the orcs will have left is their homeland. They have one little village here, which looks like it is about done. Pazouz is about to die, not Pazouz. How will they ever survive without Pazouz? Oh, apparently the elves didn't finish the job. They just got bored and wandered off across the river, or ocean, as it were. That said, there's still a lot of elves there. And there's a lot of elves there, too. And fire just everywhere. I don't know where all these fires are coming from. I have to assume it's the battle. So I went through and looked at some of the armaments right now. It looks like a lot of the elves have steel and silver weapons and armors. So they are improving quite a bit. They still have access to all the resources I dropped way back toward the beginning of the game. So I imagine that's helping them develop better tools, which again, everyone had access to that. Look, the orcs have gold, they have silver, they have stone. They still have a whole bunch of ore right there. So it is not like the orcs were done dirty. They had equal access to resources. Oh, and this is, oh my god. That is a lot of pointy-eared bastards. I think this might be it, ladies and gents. This frickin' 100-year war might be coming to an end. Can the poor, defenseless orcs do anything to stem the vicious, ruthless onslaught of the elven tide? The tree-hugging elves come through, showing no mercy, murdering man, woman, and child alike. They were as cunning as they were ruthless, burning their huts to the ground, destroying their fields. Oh, the humanity. I do find it entirely hilarious that the elves are the big bad because, you know, defying trope expectations. I am all about it. Oh, yeah. I think this is the end. The elves are digging in deep now, and I don't think they have ever been quite this far into orc territory. They've gone as far as Dogon before, but now they've actually destroyed the territory behind Dogon. And there's a lot of them coming in. They have a second army hitting the south, which looks like the orcs are fighting back against that, but the army in the north is not heavily contested. They got some skirmishing going on there, but it looks like the orcs might survive for another few years. They are fighting back. Yeah, I think it might require one more wave to actually finish the job. Then again, I have said that about 4 or 5 times now. It is incredible how resilient some of these civilizations can be. It's almost as if they don't want to be exterminated. Weird. As a point of reference, this is what the Elven Empire looks like right now. They encompass, obviously, all of their grid, most of the human grid, most of the Dwarven grid, and their population, I'm sure, is like, yeah, their population is over 5,000. Which means the orcs are below 400. So the orcs are fighting 12 to 1 odds. I'm sure they're going to turn it around. Okay, we have some movement. Look at all this movement to the northwest. Look at all these little pixels, all these little elves just swarming. It's literally like the ocean is coming to consume the orcs. That is horrifying. I have decided that the elves are the evil race in this world. The orcs were just doing their darndest to stop the threat before it ever spiraled out of control. But then greed and corruption got to them as they realized the humans and dwarves were weak. The humans were weak. The dwarves just could not let their grudge lie and attack the orcs instead of the common enemy of the elves. And thus, the proud orcs, the honorable, trustworthy, vigilant guardians of the world who tried to save it from itself, were crushed by those vicious, bloodthirsty tree huggers. Today is a tragic day for all of us. Let us take a moment of silence and remember as Nakazatop toppled into nothingness. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The colossal Elven Empire, which spans across 3 continents and consists of 6,000, basically, members. The Queen, who has stone and bronze still, for some weird reason. The Queen herself has 31 children. That's kind of hilarious. Laelo, the Bloodthirsty. Well, there's truly only one thing to do at a time like this. Wow. This is a beautiful, incredible city. This is a sprawling metropolis with incredible architecture. Look at that. Every home is literally a castle. That is amazing. I've never seen anything like it. I've never seen anything like it. Huh. Well, that happened. So, anyone think 1,000 nukes is going to break my game? Because I think it will. I will be very disappointed if it doesn't. Oh my gosh. And there we have it. Oh, you know what? There's still too many pointy-eared bastards for my liking. We have to do right by the fallen. And there's only one way to do that. Just turn the entire world into nothingness. So please do join me next time. My name's Jeff, and I hope you had fun. Deuces. You don't get away either.